You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are Road Break. And how's every single one of you in a very unusual day? Normally, remember that this was a day of rest. This would be the Sabbath for us. The Black Sabbath for every single one of you because we didn't do anything. It's a day of rest. But of course, wrestling has to change our plans, change the way we live. Remember, the thing that they do. Oh yeah, COVID changed the way we live. Yeah, wrestling changed the way we live, the way we play. Yeah, all of that. So, it's NXT debuted on Tuesday, so we're gonna be actually moved to Tuesday to talk about the Yellow Brand. So, what did you think about this show? Because pretty much fallout for what it goes takeover delivery, all of that, how the most watched takeover in history of the brand. So, a lot of changes. All of that, but we're going to be talking about everything. What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, like you said, the move to Tuesday nights. I was saying the past couple of weeks, this is the perfect opportunity for a fresh start. You're going to crown a bunch of new champions that stand and deliver. 2-night pay-per-view event overall. A solid pay-per-view. Really good NXT. Always, no pun intended, delivers on their takeover events. But I guess Tuesday needed to be the reset because there was a lot wrong with NXT, and this was the perfect time. And recently in NXT, they always blow the opportunities. This show was just the same old to me. It was some stuff was really good, and most of it not so much.
Yes, yeah. So thank you so very much, family, for being with us. We're all the subscriptions, all the comments that we get, also all the support that we get in every single one of our videos. Thank you so very much because we had a long week. Thank you for being with us with Takeover, WrestleMania, Smackdown, everything. And Jean-Paul, he also did a review for the Fallout show for Monday Night Raw, the Raw After Mania. A great show that it was well expected. Remember, years ago, everybody wanted to see debuts, super surprises, all of that. But this one lacked all of that. And actually, we're going to see Drew McIntyre and the almighty Bobby Lashley one more time. And that's why I have the emoji right there. We're thinking, really? Again?
Yeah, this Monday Night Raw, like you said perfectly. I saw a funny post. They said Lily, the scary doll with Alexa Bliss, was the only debut. Because everybody else we've already seen. The Viking Raiders return, but that's not a debut. That's a return. That's different. So I guess the same would have been with Becky Lynch, but you could have had Io Shirai. You could have had some other call-up from NXT. Somebody, but same old, we're seeing Drew and Bobby Lashley again. And I said it in the review, and I'm sure a lot of people agree. They know the title's going back to Drew at some point. This is too soon. I would have rather seen Strowman win this. Not that I like Strowman, but it would have been a good win for Bobby Lashley at Backlash.
Yeah, and especially to keep solidifying his reign as WWE champion. They didn't do that. Maybe he gets added into the match. Maybe he can get the pin. We'll see what happens. But in WrestleMania Backlash, it's going to be Drew and Lashley one more time as of now. So, Jean-Paul, let's talk about this NXT show. And the show opened up with Karrion Kross, the brand new NXT champion. And he says, I told you so. Told you so, Jean-Paul. No Finn Balor bullshit. Nah. He's going to go to Walter. It's fine. Don't worry about him. It's hey, nobody escapes their fate. And, I told you that I was going to get the title that I never lost, and I did it. Despite that, everybody, you deserve it, right, Paul? Why aren't you in a heel? What happens with that? So all of that, and then he mentions also Finn Balor is one of the best wrestlers, that there is right now. We got a great match. But hey, at the end of the day, I said I was going to be the champion one more time. That's what I did. And that's a message for every single one of you who wants to step up. And you guys can just try to do so. But in the end, I'm going to still be the NXT champion. So your thoughts on this, promo?
It was a good, what he said was good if he was, like a badass face. I'm a tough guy, no nonsense. And, I have my hot wife with me, but I'm still a babyface. He's really not. He's technically still a heel. And he cuts a promo that's kind of like a tweener. It's in between heel and babyface, and the crowd chanting, "You deserve it." Unless they're turning him face, I don't know. But to me, that destroys the gimmick as well. Yeah. Like the satanic, Scarlett has the powers and the tarot cards and all that stuff, the spirits. To me, that kills the gimmick. But WWE is quick to turn people babyface. But I did like that nobody came out and jumped him. I was waiting for somebody, when he finished his promo, somebody's music to hit. Some loser and being like, oh, yeah, I'm going to fight you. And then they're like, okay, you have a random match because I guess William Regal doesn't book the show in advance. It's like Monday Night Raw. So thankfully we didn't see that. But decent promo by Karrion. I'm excited to see who he's going to go against, because like we said, there really isn't a clear baby face to be like, yep, that's the next guy to go.
Yes, exactly. There's no clear path for what is going to be with Karrion Kross. I mean, like you said, the promo, again, I don't want him to be humanized. And the promos like this, like, especially the "You Deserve It" is annoying, because it's like he was, like you said, heel. And you guys are supposed to hate the guy. But, modern wrestling nowadays is just like there's no clear cut, like baby face, heel. It's just like whatever.
No, because it doesn't follow the formula of. Now you can like the bad guy, but you should still try to keep some semblance of kayfabe. The problem is that doesn't exist anymore. People, it's just they like who they like, and they're like, oh, I follow this guy on social media, and he's really cool, and his Instagram and all this stuff, and it's like they're marks. So it's like you cheer for who you like, and this show had a lot of moments for the marks.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're going to be talking about every single moment of that. So like we had a tag team championship match. Remember that one of the pre-show matches on NXT. The Takeover Deliver, or like
the one of the pre-show matches that Jean-Paul decided not to watch.
They decided like to just go turn around and not even watch. It was just like Drake Maverick and Killian Dane won this opportunity against MSK, and they gave us a pretty okay match. Nothing of it more. Just one more time, the music kills it for me. They're a tag team just put together just to be made fun of. Everybody says that at some point they're going to become champions. I hope not, because that would really take away any legitimacy of like those titles. And I mean, MSK look okay. I think they didn't even look that great, just because like Killian Dane and Drake Maverick are not like a team per se. It's just put together. So in the end, the MSK retained the titles, and they had a pretty like her first title defense, and it was successful. So that was good. But like what is important from this thing is like Alexander Wolf was right there, and then he starts like talking to Killian Dane, all of that, and then Imperium jumps him, and you see like there's a feud in here. There's still that feud. So like. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, the match as a whole, Drake Maverick, too much offense on MSK. I'm fine with Killian Dane dominating them, beating them up. He's a bigger guy. That makes sense. But, just too much offense by Drake Maverick. And, the match didn't, I don't think anybody cared. I don't think anybody thought, Killian Dane, Drake Maverick are going to win anything. Nobody was expecting that. The main story here is, like you said, this beatdown afterwards. And, of course, there's a beatdown after a match, whether the show is on Tuesday or Wednesday, whether it's booked
same
by...
formula, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whether it's booked by Triple H or Tony Khan, there's always a beatdown after most matches. So we saw this, and to me, to make this end legit, you're going to have 5 guys in Imperium. You're going to have Killian Dane just... powerbomb Drake Maverick, through the announce table and put his arms behind his back and join Imperium.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I think.
Because I don't want to see the baby faces, beating Imperium. To me, that just you keep burying Imperium. Yeah. Because Alexander Wolf was always the job guy. Every group has a job guy. He was the job guy. Lately, we've been seeing Eichner and Bartel lose. So, are they all going to be jobbers? And Walter surrounds himself with jobbers?
Yeah.
No. You can't do
that. They need, the Imperium needs to go back to be, like even like what they say, the mat is sacred. They need to have like that importance, that relevance above everybody else. So hopefully, like you said, it turns out like that Killian Dane joins them and you get one more member, and then you can just shake things around. That will be cool. But like MSK at least successful in their first title defense. Now let's hear it for like this was cool. Kind of the repercussions of what happened in the Ascension match between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Like they kind of like they went like this reminded you of Rocky 2 or not. This was just clear copy from Rocky 2. When they go into like the hospital and Adam Cole is talking shit right next to Kyle O'Reilly. Oh, I'm gonna beat you. You're a piece of shit. Oh, like this was you were like just lucky that time. All of that.
Oh yeah, when they're laying there in the hospital and he's like talking. Yeah, I mean it definitely gave those vibes.
Rocky too.
Yeah, it definitely gave those vibes. And I mean Rocky, who doesn't love the Rocky movies? Let's be honest. But like this, I love that Cole strapped down. He's like. Everything you said, and then O'Reilly's just like, yeah, whatever. He's like, whatever, Adam. Like, okay. Like, can we go to the hospital and get some legit juice so we feel good? Like,
exactly.
Whatever.
Yes. So that was cool. That was okay. I mean, like they're going to prolong the feud. A lot of people remember they were saying that because of this, that was the Adam Cole send-off. It's like it's going to debut on Monday Night Raw, all of that, but then they asked Triple H, and he's like, no, knowing Adam Cole, he just lost a match, but this is a whole battle. This is, this is a big war.
And so this, and also that is, at least in my opinion, that's a good subtle way to do humor. Like that, like, oh, Cole talking shit and O'Reilly's like, yeah, whatever. Like, that's how you do humor. Not like Johnny Gargano humor.
No. Exactly. That's how you still make people laugh, because you see Collins is still in character. He still delivers good lines, and he's pissed off that he lost. So that was cool. But we also find out, like, see, Roderick Strong was right there. He coming into the the performance center also, and then we get to see Marina Shafir, his wife, and then he hand out his contract. So pretty much he quit. He's like, so I'm done. He's like, I found a better job.
I love how Regal's like, you caused me a lot of shit, but you're badass. So if you ever want to come back, so like you said, this is probably just going to give him time off, because they're probably like, hey, the Undisputed Era is kind of broken up. Bobby Fish is hurt or whatever's going on. We don't really have anything. Hey, do you want to take some time off? Be legit. Bang your wife, like whatever you need to do. And he's probably like, yeah, sure.
Time with the family, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm fine with this, because NXT's lost, and I don't want to see him get put in a bullshit feud and stuff. Let the guy, relax. Maybe NXT will start the book legit, and then he'll be like, okay, now I'll come back.
Refresh the character, name some time off. Let's brainstorm ideas of how can you come back, because there's Undisputed is not going to get back together anytime soon.
No, what would be legit? You put a belt on LA Knight. Have him be champ for a while. He runs through a bunch of guys, a returning babyface Roderick Strong.
Yeah, see, that would be badass. Really cool. That would be really cool, exactly. So now let's go to like a really quick match that we had for Mercedes Martinez and also Jessica Mea. Like Mercedes Martinez is still asking the money that it was promised by Tony Khan, by the Robert Stone brand. Like, give me my money. And then, Kamea shows up and he's like, well, hey, I'm here. You don't need you. We're not going to pay you, whatever. So, like, Mercedes Martinez beat her in, like, a really quick fashion. I mean, Kamea has future, so he's still going to do some jobs. Hey, they're going to push her, like, maybe by the end of the year, things like that. You got to stay on NXT and do some jobs, don't you? We've seen this with so many women. At the beginning, all of that. So that's, comprehensive. It's understandable. It's completely understandable. And then, Mercedes gets a win. And what does that win do for you? Gives you the confidence to kind of go to Big Joseph, that in some kind of fashion, she thought that, like, that was Raquel Gonzalez. And he's like, hey, good luck, champ. Congratulations on all of that. But, like, I'm going to come after you. Just know that, like, I'm going to come after you and I want a title shot. So, what do you think? I mean, if they give that opportunity to Mercedes, like you said, hopefully she wins, because she deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, Mercedes deserves it. People might be like, why? Like, she didn't really do much on here. But, if you followed her career and everything, she's badass on the independent scene and everything else before coming to NXT. So she deserves it just for that. But, I like this feud because think about it. Out of all the women on NXT, a lot of them are very small, very tiny. She's the only one who really stacks up to Raquel.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. That would be a good feud. I mean, who we saw later on in the night kind of challenge Raquel, I would also say would be like a second contender, and then a Zoe Starks. But after that, it's a big drop off. Those girls weigh like 100 pounds. They don't match up to Raquel.
And like you said, but there's a lot of like stuff coming in the women's division, and I would say like name value, and for like everything that they represent, probably NXT right now has the best women's division in the world. I would say that. Maybe then second it will be NXT UK. All of that. I think I want to say that. Maybe you agree with me, because Saramura, Kaylee, DA, all of them. So we get to see a little bit of promo from Swerve Scott. Pretty quick. He's like in his in the room that he produces the music. He's in his studio, and he's well, Leon Ruff. This time it's gonna be me. I beat you already in the Gauntlet match, so it's gonna be 2-0. So like at least Swerve Scott, they're giving him time to talk. Finally develop the character one more time. Remember, like, when he was developing his character with Santos Escobar, he was actually becoming, like, better. And then he went obscurity one more time. For now, he's actually going back to, like, being somebody. So I like that.
Yeah, so do I. And I was really hoping this would have been the end of the feud. So I was like, okay, Swerve, I'm taking your word for it. I hope it is, and I hope you kick his ass.
But, of course, he gave us a swerve. But we're going to go in there in just a minute, because Santos Escobar, Jean-Paul, the best, thing that NXT has right now. He just cuts a promo. He says, well, my dad was a cruiserweight champion. I am the cruiserweight champion. My son will be a cruiserweight champion. And we unify those belts. It's great. We had a great match. But in the end, I told you so. I'm the champion here. I'm the guy that runs the show. And he does an open challenge. And Kushida responds to that. And this turned out to be the best part of the show, because they gave us a pretty good match. And, Jean-Paul pretty much had, like, the greatest time of his life. Because of what, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, just that, like you said, this match was, in my opinion, the best match on the show. I love the cruiserweights, love the action. You know, it's good to see Kushida saved up his earnings from NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver with Pete Dunne, and he was able to buy some ring gear, didn't have to wrestle in a wife beater and some jeans. You know, he actually had some legit clothing. But, you know, this match was good. And I love, you know, when he threw Santos out of the ring, the nod to Jushin Thunder Liger and everything, and then just the when he kind of had his arm behind his back and he did like the suplex off
he did a
top.
suplex, yes, and then
it was almost kind of like he was doing the submission where he has like the arm, not like the octopus lock, but whatever it is. You know, he did the big suplex, and then he did it again, and Santos got his foot on the ropes. Yes. You know, that was good. I love, and because Kushida, he's always hitting the ropes for like his offense. He hits the ropes, and Santos catches him with a backbreaker. You know, that was I guess like a backstabber rather. You know,
no, there was a backstabber. Yes.
Yeah. That was a legit spot there.
Right?
And then he sets him up for the Phantom driver, and it's roll up. Kushida gets, you know, the third one. 1, 2, 3. We have a new cruiserweight champ. I mean, this is great. Well, this to me is like a double-ended sword, or you know, because Kushida, he deserves it. We've been saying forever, North American champ, cruiserweight champ, you know, tag champ. I mean, hell, even NXT champ if it wasn't on Karrion Kross. Like, this guy deserves, you know, any title because he's legit. At least we feel that way. 9-time, you know, IWGP Light Heavyweight champion. Clearly, Japan thinks so. So,
one
you know,
of the
this guy deserves gold.
Even they say it in NXT history.
Yeah,
so
he deserves gold. He wins it here. But the part I don't like is Santos just unified these belts. He gave us a great match at TakeOver. It's like, okay, you know, now it should be like, hey, this cements him as like, I'm going to be legit. Let him have a little bit of a run. Maybe wait till next TakeOver to drop the belt.
Yeah.
He loses it the show right after, and then he looks like a fool. So I didn't like.
Maybe, like you said, I remember telling you this also, like, they might just do another match, let's say another TakeOver, and then he will win it back. But it doesn't do justice to Kushida. But, you know, in WWE fashion, they always do this. You have a big moment, you know, you have and remember, the next time that you have a show, then you drop the belt.
Mm-hmm. And especially because, like, his son, he had the thing with his son came out, then he cuts this promo. Like, to me, don't do that if the guy's going to lose because you make him look like an idiot.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. They don't care how they make their superstars look because the booking is all over the place. Yes. So that's like nothing is consistent on these shows.
Especially because, like you said, after unifying the titles, like it was the time for Santos to just have the run because now he can say, I'm the real champion.
Exactly.
Because before that, we will say, well, it's kind of like you call yourself the champion, but really who the champion is Jordan Devlin.
Yeah.
So,
and now, speaking of him, we might as well just go. I don't remember what happened next. Yeah, but to this segment, you see Kushida. He's backstage. William Regal's like, "Oh, it's legit." And then Jordan Devlin comes up, and then he's just like, "Oh, you know, I'm the real cruiserweight champ because I didn't lose it in a wrestling match. I lost it in a ladder match. Anybody can win a ladder match." And he pretty much said to Kushida, "You're not the champ. You're just lucky." But he's like, "I'm going back to the UK for a little bit, but when I come back, you know, I'm taking this belt." So I thought it was going to be right away. I was like, oh my God, they're just going to play hot potato and give it to Devlin. And if they do, what the hell was even the point of the ladder match? What was the point of all of it? You might as well just had Devlin win. But thankfully, he's going back to UK. You know, not because I don't want to see him. You know, I want to see him on that brand. I don't want to see him on this brand because nobody is over on NXT. Maybe Karrion, but to me, nobody's over.
I'm Adam Cole. Maybe
Adam Cole, but he's not like in a title picture. No.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But like nobody's over. So like Jordan Devlin might as well go back to NXT UK where at least he can be over. But you know the match will be good, but it's like, can Kushida enjoy it? You know, like he just won it, like he's in the back taking off his wrist tape, and then was he just waiting there? Yeah, was he just like, oh yeah, you know, I'm waiting?
Actually, if you think about it, it kind of like it's just like how you say it is. It's just like he was just waiting. All right, dude. He's like, oh, you're the champion now? Well, I'm coming after you. But, like, you know, isn't that the life of the champion there? But, like, they doing it right away. Like you said, I think that they're going to wait a few months. For Jordan Devlin, like you said, maybe being in NXT UK. See what happens.
And he did mention the travel thing, too. Sorry not to cut you off, but he did mention the traveling. He's like, oh, you know, travel's open. So I think it's time for another Worlds Collide pay-per-view. Because that was a great pay-per-view, and you could do the matchup then.
Yeah, it will be exactly, and there will be a good opportunity to just finally combine, and maybe Jordan Devlin wins it again. We'll see because they want Walter, they want Devlin to maybe move permanently to the US. So we'll see what happens on that. But like you said, I like this graphic pretty quick, like, and the new Cruiserweight Champion, so they change a little bit of the graphics or how they do like the set for NXT. So that's cool. I like that also. So now let's talk about Paul, like the celebration of Raquel Gonzalez. We're gonna hear from her, like how she became the champ. She beat Io Shirai in NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. So that was really cool. Dakota Kai, like you said, he was just the number one contender a few months ago. Now she's the jobber. Now she introduces her best friend. That's fine. Poor Dakota. The roles of like the tag team. Remember Shawn and Diesel? Same thing. Now like Shawn is introducing Diesel. But it was okay. She got a great promo. Hey, a year and a half ago, I tried to have a title match. I came out short. Well, what did I have to do? I have to improve myself. I have to lift more weights. I have to become faster. I have to become stronger. I have to spend more time in the gym, develop my strategy. And I would have not been able to do any of this without Jean Paul. Pretty much that's what she says without Dakota Kai. So good promo there. But then finally the debut of La Güera Loca. So Jean Paul loves this. I know that's one of her favorite ones. Frankie Monet. So like really legit stuff. And like they kind of like went swearing a little bit in Spanish. So I like that. So she said like next time, honey, like you're lucky that I'm in a good mood because next time I want to shovel that dog in your culo. So great stuff. Don't you think, Paul?
Oh yeah, no. It was better. Like the middle part of this was good when was it Frankie Monet or Ty Valkyrie, whatever, when she came out, that's what made it good. We were waiting for this debut. You and I are both fans of hers from Impact.
Yes.
Everything that we've seen of her is great. She's good on the mic. She can talk. She's not like some of these girls are like But speaking of being on the mic and talking, back to Raquel's promo, it was pretty much the same thing Karrion Kross said.
Yes.
Like I'm legit. I fought for all this, blah, blah, blah. It was, Io's legit. She's one of the greatest to ever do it. It's like, are you heel? Are you babyface? The crowd chanting, you deserve it here as well. So like we said, heels and baby faces are dead. Maybe Cody Rhodes was actually right about something when he said that. But, I mean, it was good there. And then take us to the part that you and I really did. Oh, but before we get there, I did like how the crowd was chanting up your cooler.
Yeah,
that was legit.
It was good. It was good. Like you said, like the interaction that they had with Taya or Frankie Monet when like Raquel was good because again, Taya like she knows a fluent fluent Spanish, fluent Spanish. Like she grew up there, like she trained there, so she has a lot of like her style is from the lucha libre. She lived like a lot of years in Mexico, so she's completely fluent in Spanish. So I like that. And Raquel, of course, she has Mexican descent, so like it's really cool. But then they did a moment that to me a bit weird. But again, it's like the first show on Tuesday, so they wanted to do kind of like the present and the past. So out of nowhere, like Rhea Ripley shows up and Bianca Belair also. So like the old champs. So they kind of gave us like a moment from like Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Maybe not the right comparison right there, but like see, they came out, they hugged, they were all friends, and as you see in the picture, they have a picture with them with before they were all champs, and now that they all champs, it's like kind of like a way that all three celebrated. So, like you said, it's kind of for marks. It's just to pump everybody. And Big Joseph said also in NXT, anything can happen. So maybe expect more of this, like comments from the WWE main roster, or no?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it'll improve the show because this didn't improve the show. At least, I mean, like you said, there's people who love this. All the marks of the women's wrestling and they're just even these women individually. I'm sure they love this, but again, I look at it from a different, point of view. Raquel is heel, Rey is heel, Bianca's babyface. Why would they want to come down and all be like, the heel should be like, screw you. When I was here, I kicked your ass. And it's like, oh, really? And they start going at each other, the two heels. And Bianca should want nothing to do with them because she's a babyface.
Yes.
But, but see, they don't care. They'd rather just be like, oh, look at this photo we took 5 years ago. And now look at them now. Isn't that legit? We're WWE. We make moments.
It's exactly right. It's more of the moment. It's more like, like I said, there's no clear cut like baby faces, heels. It's more like everything in the middle, and like you said, you can.
But then next time we see really Rhea, she'll be cutting a heel promo on Monday Night Raw.
Yes,
so.
Like also like the switch is on Mondays you're heel, then any other days you're just baby face. So like if you will give more continuity to these things, it will add more seriousness to the show. More realism, because if like you just like one day, I'm a badass, I hate Asuka, I hate everybody, and then the next day, like really, like again. So that's the one thing that is destroying like the realism of professional wrestling. It's moments like this, and like I said, but some people like it, so that's why they do it. So that they cater into a different
some people like it, and at the end of the day, they like it. Yes. WWE likes it.
Yes, exactly. Because of family oriented, all of that. So that's all of those lines. So like that's why they kind of do those things. So let's talk about Sarai or Sarai. Or I would say Sarai. Like she's debuting next week. Jean Paul. A lot of people love like that. She's finally signed on NXT. They know even William Regal said in the promo like we had the success from Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io Shirai. So they hope that this will be the next. And to have the same success, even you put in that, we'll job you like the first weeks, the first months, and then you'll be legit, all of that. So I'm really looking forward to see about this girl. What she can do, Meiko Satomura was also in the promo. So good stuff. She's going to be debuting next week and added like a potential contender. So you see like already 4 women kind of chasing after Raquel. So that's kind of cool for me.
Yeah, I'm excited for this debut. And like they said, she's legit. You saw her pictures of her with Antonio Inoki and all this stuff. And I love the line from Meiko where she's like, "Oh, she has a cute smile, but in the ring she'll kick your ass pretty much." So I mean,
that's fine.
It's going to be exciting to see how they book her because there's so much going on, and you thought they're really pushing her. And now Xia Li sitting on the sidelines like,
and all this torture that I went through.
It's like, done. That to me should have been, you should have built her up. If you want to have Raquel be all smiley and whatever, Raquel could have turned babyface because whatever, and then boom, Xia Li. That would have been a good, opponent. But it seems like she's an afterthought.
You always say this, like there's no continuity. There's not like that pipeline that you should have. For example, right now you're feuding with like Xia Li. Okay, that feud is over. Who's next? Okay, then Mercedes. Okay, this is your turn, and like that. We kind of understand who's there and why they're there. No, it's just like you're floundering all over the place. It's fine as long as you have TV time.
Yeah, the problem is they need to sit down with all the names. And like you said, okay, you build to your next pay-per-view. Yeah. So, okay, what's everybody who's in the mix? What are they going to do leading up to the next pay-per-view? You don't book it week by week going, I guess they can go against them. And it's all over the place.
For example, do you want to talk about all over the place? There you go. Leon Ruff against Isaiah Surf Scott. Like we always said, why is this still going on? Does somebody care about this? Not even them. They don't even care about this. At least the one thing that was good about all of this match is like at least Swerve Scott won. That was good.
And he looked good in this match, but of course he always has to sell for Leon Ruff, give him his offense. And I'm sure these guys backstage are legit, like, they're probably good friends. They're probably like, man, we're putting on great matches and stuff. And if they were similar in size, if Leon Ruff gained like 70 pounds, yeah, these matches would be legit, and people who actually respect, physical contact sports would think this was legit as well. But anybody with a brain and 2 sets of eyes is going to be like, this is completely unbelievable. It's worse than Drake Maverick in the opening match. It's just bad. And Swerve Scott got the win, so at least that was good. But then what did we see afterwards? He's cutting. I thought I was watching AEW because he didn't even get 2 words out of his promo when he's getting beat up backstage. Yeah. And Leon Ruff throws one of the production crates into him, throws him in the locker. He's like, "This isn't over. You said it was over." And I'm like, "Why? Please, you said it was over. I believed you, Swerve. I believed you." I'm like heartbroken. I'm like, come on.
I believe, yes. And he goes with like Lenny Kravitz, "It ain't over till it's over." So there you go, like that pop culture reference right there. So that's what we got. And now, we're gonna go to like the main event. We also got promos. We got promos from like Walter and Imperium, kind of saying like, "Hey, I beat you, Tommaso Ciampa. The man is sacred one more time," and all of that, like kind of like showcasing.
Yes, they cut a promo. Tommaso Ciampa did, and again, I'm gonna shit on this too because. Okay, so they're feuding with Killian Dane. You're feuding with Tommaso Ciampa. If we get an 8-man tag match of Ciampa, Thatcher, Killian Dane, and Drake Maverick versus Imperium, this show is absolute garbage.
Oh, yeah.
But don't be surprised because I don't know what you're setting up for, but that's what it looks like to me.
Yes, exactly. So, and also, but they were eyeing to MSK. So that was another promo that they had. Like you said, Zoe Stark is going to Mercedes Martinez. So they might have a match in the middle. So maybe, in potentially, the number 1 contender for like Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, I would put
but this was the main event.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I would put all those women
No,
in a
go
match.
ahead, go ahead.
I would put all those women in a match like Raquel, Mercedes, Zoe Starks. If you want to put Frankie Monet in there, even though I think she should earn it, she shouldn't just debut and get a title shot. But do like a contenders match. If you have 3 or so women, maybe put them in a triple threat or something like that. Don't just be like, here, yeah, you get a title shot.
Yeah,
let them actually earn it.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's what we does always show, like the promos that we have. So now the main event is an 8-man tag. John Paul said we 8-man tags, they have to have them. He says, hey, all the main names, all the big guys don't need to wrestle, like after the pay-per-view, so they have the way. Every single member of the way against Shotzi Blackheart, Amber Moon, Dexter Lumis, and Bronson Reed. Amber Moon also, she's like grieving also because like her partner, Shotzi Blackheart, lost her father on Sunday. So that no mention of that, but our condolences for Shotzi. Like her father was
and also we'll mention too the Hardys, they lost their father because I don't know when we'll have an opportunity to shout out Jeff because we don't see him. He's never booked, so our condolences to the to Shotzi and to the Hardys as well.
Not tomorrow because AEW, we'll be doing AEW right after.
Oh yeah, that's true. He does wrestle Darby Allin, which I did call that, and then they booked it, so maybe Tony Khan listens to me. I wish he would listen to me more, but
Well, but maybe as we keep doing the show, Paul. So what do you think about this match? Of course, this was just showing for Gargano for the way, and then the baby faces they need to get the win. Is a feel good moment. To me, the whole story wasn't even the match alone. The match was just whatever. But this is what made the match to me at least enjoyable. It was the interactions between Indy and Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. And I gave up trying to pretend any of these 8 were serious. So at least, with people who are serious and I want to respect them, like Santos, Balor, Cole, all those main event guys, those are the ones who I'm like, okay, as long as you don't do anything stupid, I'm good. But yeah, in this match, Indy, she always wanted to tag in when Lumis was in. She even said before the match in a promo, she's like, oh, I'm going to tag in when Lumis is in so I can, do my business with him. And Gargano's like, what the fuck is he's like, what's wrong with you? And then, so I like when she got tagged and she laid down, she wanted Lumis to cover all that. So clearly, she wants to bang, and that's the whole thing. So we'll just skip ahead because this match was the shits. This match sucked.
Like I said, so for me, that was cool. And then,
show us the picture. Do you have the? Yep, there it is. He's carrying her out of there.
Right there.
There's going to be some little.
She's knocked out, so Lumis believes it, and then she's carrying him out.
There's going to be a little bit of Indies and Lumis is running around in about 9 months from now. So, and then Bronson Reed, big splash on Austin Theory, and done. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't care about this. To me, this needs to be the end of the way. They need to be like, Indy, you're kicked out. Austin Theory, you got pinned. You're bullshit. You're at it. Just break them up because this group is completely dead.
Exactly. They never won anything outside of Gargano. Nothing. And like
they're all losers.
Yep, the baby faces get like the big moment right there. Shotzi, at least for her father, all of that. That's cool. Amber Moon, like she did like a big the eclipse. She did well. Also, like she went on top on the shoulders.
Yeah, off Bronson Reed's shoulder.
Then the tsunami, 1, 2, 3, they get the win. Like the picture right there, and we get to see that war that Kyle O'Reilly is going to be on next Tuesday. Finally, going to be live, so we're going to see more probably what's going to happen after the match that they had to take over, the Ascension match. So we'll see what's the next chapter for Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. So that was pretty much the show, Paul. In NXT, that like you said, it needs a lot of work, especially now that there's no competition. It's you on Tuesdays, so is your job to make the show enjoyable one more time. Maybe a lot of people like it, but I think everybody that watched NXT from the beginning, for like the good days when it was like really good, everybody thought that was the best brand in the world for like the seriousness. Remember how they treated every single story. Now it's just like they've been dropping the ball. So we'll see what kind of ratings they get.
Yeah, I think it'll be, and it's interesting to see what both shows do. If both shows' numbers go up, to see if there was any people who were loyal to one show are now able to watch both. So it's interesting to see, or if they'll stay about the same. But if this is the kind of quality we're going to get, the numbers are going to go down. Yeah. Because this, not very good. Like you said, maybe it's because they're running unopposed. They're like, screw it. But, they need a lot of work. They have, and same thing with AEW. I'll say it about NXT. The pieces are all there. It's just the storytelling. That's the only issue.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're more comfortable. They're just the people are going to watch whatever we put. They're just going to watch. Mm-hmm. Very complacent. They're not trying to like go out.
No, of the way. And I want to touch on before we get out of here that point that you brought up earlier. If you're an NXT fan from the days of Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Kevin Owens, Nakamura, Balor, Joe, Bobby Roode, like Drew McIntyre, Andrade, And then, even, recent, Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, Gargano,
Ricochet.
Rick, all that legitness. And then you get here and you're like, what is even going on?
And
it feels like it's not even the same show. It feels like this is a parody.
Yeah.
Lucius, that was the last legit,
Yeah. And then where's he now? Exactly.
Done.
Yeah, so family, thank you so very much for being with us. Get used to it. On Tuesdays, we will have a video for you guys every single Tuesday for NXT. Don't forget to help us out just one thing. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and give the video a like so it goes higher than the rankings, so more people can be exposed to the legitness of Rope Break. So where else can you find us, Paul?
And also don't forget to follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
So family, tomorrow, AEW right after the show is over. No more Thursday mornings,
I finally have somebody who's going to be joining in the punishment with me.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to be carrying some loads. So there you go. We're going to be for that. So family, we'll see you then. You and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...